Welcome. This is the third video, and the topic is symphony. It's one of the 6 aptitudes that Daniel Pink talks about in his book, A Whole New Mind. These 6 aptitudes, he believes, will help you step into a whole new way of being, of tuning into life and having more vitality by using our natural attributes that are found in the right side of the brain. We've always had them, but the information age that we are now out of focused mostly on left brain capabilities. And just as a quick refresher, the left brain is about separating and analyzing. The right brain is about synthesizing and always looking for wholeness. How can I put things together? They might seem very different, but putting things that are unexpected together can create great results. We are inventors. That's what invention is, putting not thought of before, very unlikely things together that work well for humanity. So, at any rate, symphony, our minds think in a symphonic manner, a very simultaneous way of, of searching for wholeness. Think of an orchestra, think of symphony, and the composer or conductor takes a lot of different parts. When they take on this role, they're dealing with instruments, different ages of the instruments, people, different talents as far as different numbers of years of experience, a different environment. All of that they have to combine to create something worthy to be appreciated, that people enjoy. At least those are the pieces of art, the pieces of music that we hear the most of are the ones that do that successfully. So this is really the strength of symphony. If you think of an orchestra, that it's blending many different parts to create something that works. And if you listen to music, there'll be sections that will pull the whole piece together. Sometimes the wind section, if it's a something by Tchaikovsky, might be the wind section or the horn section. So that's something to tune into. We're basically inventors. It's when they talk about upcycling or reuse, solving situations. I mean, who thought that we could be using grease left over from restaurants to run cars? Now, did that take over the world? No, but it was an idea and it worked. I mean, every day it's the symphony is in the land of invention and creativity, and we're all capable of that. One of the, I think, most powerful ways to witness symphony is to watch Shark Tank. There is a perfect example of people putting together new ideas and old ideas, or old ideas in a different way, adding something very unexpected, but they're seeing a need for something and they are putting together across various fields. They're combining parts, experiences that will successfully bring wholeness to the market. something that someone wants. As I've mentioned before, business today is about appealing to the customer for a deeper sense of meaning. And when you watch Shark Tank, the meaning that brought these people to the inventions, they were broke and they had to create this. They had a friend who was challenged with perhaps a physical situation, and they invented something that would help them with that, maybe be more mobile. Um, it's just an everyday thing, but creative thinkers, inventors, they are looking at the broad scale. It's a blending. The expressive arts is all about that. Expressive arts just simply means it's interdisciplinary. You take from each discipline. You might dance a poem, or you might write a story and then turn it into a picture or a scribble or an abstract. Interdisciplinary activity, whether you call it upcycling, reuse, inventing, that's what symphony is. And what is really cool about it is that humans are really good at it and AI isn't. And that brings me to one very exciting aspect of symphony: metaphors. That, of course, is thinking of describing one thing in terms of another. Like life. Life is a Ferris wheel, or life is a rat race, or coffee is a turbocharge. Coffee is an upper. Metaphors really stick, and we're animals and AI cannot handle metaphors. They are incapable of it. So it's a very rich world for us. And that's what symphony is all about: thinking of one thing in terms of another. One example Pink gives in the book is the gentleman who created Velcro. Oh my God, that's so useful. He came up with it because he had a dog that was always getting burrs stuck on his hair. And he didn't that moment say, "Oh, Velcro." But if you surround yourself and you with things that appeal to you or situations that you want to solve, and you think out of the box, if you get away from logical left brain thinking, solutions can come. This is invention. Thomas Edison, with the light bulb and many, many other inventions, he was known for taking short naps. Einstein, symbol came to him for the mathematical symbol. The right side of the brain is where the imagination is, the dream world, the intuitive, the inner child, the emotional. So solutions, if you fertilize yourself with and surround yourself and put the thought out to change something, to invent something, to solve something, it's very possible that it'll come to you. And that'll be the work of the right side of the brain and the aptitude of sympathy. Symphony. So there's some really fun things you can do. Pink suggests listening to music, any type of music, but particularly classical music, where you can see how it builds, and all of a sudden where maybe one particular instrument takes over. The Symphony of 1812 is one example for you to tune into. Another thing is drawing, and that's with a focus on negative space. Not trying to draw your image, but drawing it from the idea of what space is around the image. And or turning an image upside down and then drawing it by just looking at the spaces, the negative spaces they call it, that are not part of the image, that are outside of that image. And that is a trick to shut off the left brain. So it is, you can get a book called Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain that Edwards wrote, if you want to fool around with that. Another exercise is do a self-portrait with only 5 lines. Prop up a mirror and try to get an expression of who you are with just 5 lines. Of course, watch Shark Tank. Another one is make something for yourself or someone else, something functional, from upcycled goods. Maybe you make a trunk into a table, or a lobster pot into a table, or you use the bottom of a lamp as legs for something. Reuse, upcycle. You make very fun pieces. And that takes imagination, thinking out of the box. No, I'm not going to go to Lowe's and just buy a couple of legs. I'm going to find a shape that works and make that work. That's another exercise for you. Let's see, what else? Well, that'll get you started. I'm thinking, that's good. That's good. That'll get you started. But think broad. Think senses. Step into another perspective. How would a chair look at this? How would a person look at this? What would the feel of it be? What would I want to hear? Is it going to be an audio reminder, or do I want it to sound? What would be helpful to have something to sound that's also a beautiful piece of furniture? You get my drift. It's always good to go back to the senses and think, hearing, taste, eyes, touch. That can expand your realm of information, trigger new ideas. Oh, I know the one I was trying to think of is have an inspiration board. I do collages, but I collect images that appeal to me and do the same. Just look at them periodically. Things that appeal to you, that make you feel good, that you're drawn to. And so it's great to have a board to tack them up on. And your mind in symphony will work on it, and ideas will come to you that may surprise you, but they're not identical, but they've sprung from that. Oh, I know another one. Go to a newsstand, Pink suggests this, and buy 6 or 8 magazines that you would never buy, like fixing up a car, and you really have no interest in that, or I don't know, some ancient art of something that you have no interest in, or how to knit and you're never going to knit. but anything that you're not interested in. And spin through the magazines, just look through them, and because you're going to be exposed to images and ideas that you wouldn't normally be. And that'll jiggle up your mind. And, symphony will, that aptitude of symphony will get things going. So that's another fun one. So make it fun, but you will fine tune these aptitudes, and you will feel much more alive and vital, and it'll boost your creativity. And creativity can just be doing something a different way. It could be creating an object as well, but new ways of being, new ways of thinking. It makes life more vital. It makes you more aware to tune in. And you can actually carry a notebook and notice or record on your phone when you start noticing metaphors that other people use. Because metaphors describing one thing in terms of another, they really get the emotional flavor of the stage of emotion the person's at. Like if life is a hurricane, it's like fear and total chaos. They're like near the edge. If life is a roller coaster, it's going really fast, but it doesn't mean it definitely has to be fearful. If life is a Ferris wheel, it can be that it's actually fun, and that they're seeing a lot of new things from a different perspective. I mean, each person would be different, but yes, record or jot down metaphors or start to notice them. Okay, I think I've talked enough for this video. You can watch my other videos on my website, creativebrainbalanceprograms.com. And of course, they're on my Facebook page by the same name. All righty. Until we meet again, do take care.